XRP has seen some significant volatility in the last 24 to 48 hours, hitting some of our expected targets. Next, I do expect a bit of a move to the upside, but how high can XRP rally? In today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on XRP on the 1 hour, 1 day, and hopefully 1 week timeframes, sharing my thoughts and opinions as to where I think the price action is heading. As I get into today's video, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, and let's jump into the charts. So we're going to kick things off right here on the 1 hour time frame for XRP. Okay, so this is XRP paired up with USDT on the 1 hour Binance chart. Now, following on from yesterday's video, we were talking about the potential for a bounce from the range of 59.93 to 60.27, looking for those resistances a little bit higher. We did, of course, come down significantly further, tapping down on that 200 EMA, which we're also talking about being a great support area for the price action of XRP. So again, this presented itself with some interesting long positions on XRP's price action. From here, we can see that we have dropped down and we're finding support on that 200 EMA at the moment. And this actually presents itself with the idea of a potential long position. So we want to be a little bit cautious here because it doesn't give me the vibes that this is a complete structure just yet. Okay, so we want to be a little bit cautious with the potential here for a little bit more to the downside before we finish this structure off to the upside. So let's go ahead and reflect on where the current price action is. So here you can see we have hit 1.618. We've moved up. So we are looking at this as a 5-wave move. Wave 1, 2, 3, up for 4. We've got to come down into 5. Which means this 5th wave potentially is not done. If we cross higher than our wave 1 low point, which sits here at 59.90, then of course we can kind of say, yes, we're done with this move and we can go long on the market. Failure to go higher than 59.9 is indicating to me that we have to move down, and our target range for that is going to sit right down here at 58.73 to 58.99. It's that little yellow spot right there. Okay, so we know what we want to do. We want to get confirmation. Okay, we can, of course, if we really wanted to, we could go short on the market right here, stop loss higher than that 59.9. So we go 59.92, for example, and we go ahead and take profit right down here at the 58.99. Okay, that's your short opportunity here. It's tight stop loss, risk reward ratio 2.44. So again, you know, you're putting proper risk management in place, and that'll be the approach. Otherwise, what you're waiting for here is to go long once that price moves up higher than that previous swing high of 59.9. The stop loss would have to go down deeper than its previous swing low, so 59.13, and our take profit is going to be up into this upper area of resistance. So we'll go ahead and put it approximately around here. And that's a 1.65 risk reward ratio. So profit would be 61.2. And that would be my approach to this, because I do think that's where we're likely to surge to, up into this upper area of resistance right up here. Pull that across. And this is an area that you can see resistance here, breakthrough, pull off, or pull down, sorry, and then hit resistance again. I think this is going to be another area for retest. Okay, so that's the approach. That's how I would look at this market right now. We have the option to go short right now on the anticipation that we finished that 5th wave movement, tight stop loss, or alternatively, as soon as we break that high, we can go ahead and go long. So we could reverse the short idea. So if some exchanges like BitGet, for example, will let you reverse it. So for example, I could go short here, tight stop loss above there, take profit down here. Should the price move up, I can then go ahead and flip it and reverse it, creating a long position on that invalidation. Stop loss can be adjusted, and then take profit can be adjusted as well. Okay, personally, I don't tend to do that too much. I much prefer to kind of go with one, and then if it changes, then flip it into the other one. Okay, hitting the reverse button can be quicker for sure, but I prefer to have more control over it. So as it sits right now, this is the expectation on XRP's smaller time frame. And of course, guys, you can see that this is a breakout to the upside, only to come all the way tumbling back down lower than its trend line, turning that trend line into resistance, 50 EMA resistance, and 200 hourly EMA as our current support, but looking to test that low trend line that we've been talking about. So at the moment, that's kind of where we're looking here for XRP, with a small rally to the upside and then another collapse later, because 5-wave patterns are never on their own. The only way that this is going to be kind of considered a complete correction would be if this was a flat correction. And that would basically be like this with a 5-wave finishing move like that. Okay, that would basically be a running flat because we would not finish lower than the previous swing low. I don't think that's a viable option. So my expectation is that we have this as a 5-wave move down, a 3-wave bounce, and then another 5-wave move to the downside. That's my kind of approach here for XRP on the 1 hour time frame. Our stochastic RSI is in a pretty decent position though on the 8, 4, and 1 hour time frames. So we can always be hopeful that we get a breakout here, and we do in fact break this structure. We're complete with a 5th wave, and we can just move up to our targeted resistance at 61.22 to 61.6. Okay, so we always look out for those breakout situations. I love trading a breakout. You guys know that. And if I am to be trading, I'm going to be trading on BitGet or Blowfin, which are my go-to leverage platforms for trading. Links are in the description. If you haven't got accounts with those yet, guys, check them out. There's some fantastic sign-up bonuses and discounts available. Let's go ahead and roll this up into a daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we're seeing more resistance on that upper trend line. We will be looking for the price to move down. As I've said before, I am looking for that 51.52 cent level. This is still a bearish pattern, even though we are looking for that breakout towards 75 to 85 cents. We haven't kind of got that confirmed. The only way that we really confirm that is if we can rally up higher than 64.24 cents, which we got close to a couple days ago, where we did rally up to 63.1, but we've failed to kind of breach that area and have started to come on down quite aggressively. We are overbought or just heading down from the overbought area on the daily, so we are looking for that 51.52 cent level. I just don't think it's going to happen right away. It's going to take some time. And of course, it is lower than the 200-day EMA, which is sat at 54.83. So it would be a wick, I think, in that particular case. Now, of course, if it takes longer, then we may have to reassess where all these kind of moves are. But for now, that's kind of where XRP's price action is kind of leading me, thinking that the price action is still got this potential for a big bullish break to the upside, 75.85 cents. But before we get there, we expect more volatility. We expect more liquidity to be extracted from the market. And, we do look to complete out this pattern. It's just going to take significant amounts of time, specifically with the Federal Reserve looking to cut their interest rates in September. That could also be the catalyst to drag in this price action down towards 50 cents, which would be another kind of 20% move or so. So keep an eye on it, but for now we are still positive about this outcome, looking for that move up towards 75 to 85 cents total levels. Now, if we bring up the stochastic, you see it's in a reasonable position. Take a look at the divergence indicator, also looking like a reasonable position. There were a couple of bearish divergences in the past, but that's all looking pretty cleaned up right now. Our volume profiles are a little concerning. We're pushing up with decreasing volumes. This kind of divergence is not a good sign. It shows that there isn't a huge appetite for buying. So right now you can see price pushes up a little bit over the last few days, but ultimately volumes are decreasing, showing us weakness. So again, it shows that there is still not really a huge appetite for buying into XRP just yet. I think this comes down to not really having that full clarity over what the SEC are going to do. So it will be interesting to see how that changes as we kind of get through September, because I do think the closer and closer that we get to that deadline, we're going to see sentiment shifting. We're going to see some speculative purchases, I think, and the market for XRP is more than likely going to grow from a kind of perpetual perspective as well. So I'm expecting trading volume to surge when it comes to XRP during the month of September ahead of October, and what that might potentially mean for Ripple, for the SEC, for XRP status and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so on the daily, expect volatility, but we are still bullish overall. On our weekly time frame, we are just ranging, as I've said many times before. We have the low range, the high range, and basically we're just bouncing between the two. On the low range, this is where I think maximum value is to be found, is between 33.46 and 46.16. We've obviously tapped into this a fair few times. But this is where basically we've seen great value and great returns on buying into this range. On the flip side of that, we have the selling range. This is 66.13 to 75 cents. This particular area has basically been heavy resistance for XRP's price action and continues and remains to do so. So unfortunately, that pretty much needs to see this getting broken out, and if we want to be really super bullish on XRP's price action. But for now, that's not really what's going on. We find this as consistent resistance. and we've got great buying down here as well. So I'm expecting more slippage, but as you can see, it's going to be a part of a much bigger macro piece, which is taking XRP's price action to 559 to 1125 in my opinion. Big three-wave pattern that kind of spans multiple years. We are talking from the lows of March 2020 up to where I think the highs of 2025 are going to take the price action of XRP. $5.59 I think is achievable once we see clarity for the XRP token. Of course, this might seem like a really small number. It might not fit with what you kind of been expecting or being shielded or being told over the years, but this is kind of where a realistic price expectation for XRP sits in my humble opinion. Of course, guys, you can let me know what your thoughts are on all of this in the comments down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where do you sit when it comes to the price action of XRP? Do let me know. If you found today's video useful, helpful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe, and check out my second channel just over here where I go through the Cardano technical analysis every single day.